right, so I'm sitting down here today with CJ Cannata of the Cannata Report. CJ, how are you doing today?
Caleb, I'm doing great. Thrilled to be here. Thanks for having me.
So we're sitting down to talk about the Annual Award and Charities Gala. Is it gala or gala?
I always refer to it as gala, but it is.
I've always said gala, but Zach has been saying gala, and I keep questioning myself.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
fact that you confirmed the thing that I thought tells me that it's true. I'm not going to ask any other people. Yeah, that's
I
how it goes.
wouldn't doubt it for a moment. I wouldn't doubt it.
So we're talking about the Annual Award and Charities Gala. How many years has it been going on?
This is our 38th year.
38
It started
years.
as a breakfast and then gradually evolved into a dinner, and then 11 years ago into a full-scale evening gala. Now we have so many different kinds of people attending, which makes it really, really exciting and very inclusive. All of the awards, and this has always been an awards. We've added charity onto it later, but the foundation was always to give out awards to vendors as selected specifically by dealers in our annual dealer survey. So it's a dealer's choice award. And why am I saying that? Because I used to tell Frank all the time when I first started 11 years ago that he created a social media concept well before social media existed. And what I mean by that specifically is by virtue of just putting out a detailed survey like he did in 85 to gather as much information as possible and to give as he would promote to dealers and tell dealers, I'm giving you a voice. Here's your opportunity to let the rest of the industry, to let your peers, to let your vendors know what you think, what your concerns are, what you're happy about, what you're not happy about. And that in and of itself to me was a social media concept in the making well before, as I've alluded to or may have alluded to previously, social media existed.
So we can claim that without a doubt officially that Frank started the first social media.
Yeah, and I feel I can say that because I didn't do it. I'm saying Frank did. I had nothing to do.
This is, you heard it here first, folks. It's official.
This year, by the way, we broke record participation with 458 dealers.
Wow.
Net. I call them net surveys, which means surveys that are usable. 458, and our record to date was 385.
Man, that's so cool.
We have several partners like US Bank, Leaf, Kyocera, Ricoh, Sharp, Toshiba, and Epson, 7 this year, who have provided incentives to which, in the form of subscriptions, which help get more dealers to participate and vote. The Cannata also matches any subscription that a vendor may offer as part of an incentive to help the survey. So while the survey certainly asks dealers a variety of questions about how their business is going, including what their annual revenue is, what they're doing in certain areas of diversification, what their greatest areas of concerns are, it also specifically asks dealers to vote on a variety of vendor categories, of which there are 13 now, adding a new award most recently last year for Best Diversification Partner, which is an example of strategically introducing an award at what we thought was the right time. The awards are specifically selected by the dealers in our annual dealer survey. They vote on them, and then I have Bob Goldberg, who I don't think needs any introduction or title. I can't think of a better person, more trusted person than Bob Goldberg to verify those awards after I do all the counts. We used to give out plaques. I'm thinking, what about a trophy? Something that people can hold up and get excited.
It's gotta be cooler than that.
The Oscars and the Emmys, and are we big enough to be the Oscars and the Emmys? No, but think big. Dream big, plan big. It's like a lot of people that I have a great deal of respect for have said, in one way, shape, or form, always strive for perfection. You're never going to necessarily get there, but keep trying. Like the Oscars or the Emmys, I wanted to name it. So I started talking to some dealers, which is what the Cannata Report does. What do you guys think? And it was Jerry Blaine who said, call it the Frank. I said, you know what? Okay, Frank is kind of an odd name. It's not necessarily Oscar or Emmy, just have a little fun with Frank. But what Jerry's saying makes perfect sense. It's a way to, immortalize, if you will, Frank in an industry that he's given a tremendous amount to over not just the 38 years of the survey, but over the 43 years he's been in business with him for himself, and to try to elevate and generate more excitement about the gala and the awards ceremony and the awards themselves.
We'll put out a survey. Next year's survey will include how do you pronounce this word.
Yeah, I think we should do that. That's a good idea.
having that name behind it has definitely added to that aura of prestige that everybody feels about it.
Well, thank you. I certainly appreciate it. Another reason to thank Jerry because his contributions were invaluable, but also the bevy of other dealers that have provided insight and feedback that have, along with people like Bob Goldberg and Mike Stramalio and Ed
Mhm.
McLaughlin and others who, Jim DiMidio, just some names that come to mind. There's certainly many, many others. I could go on and on and on, who've provided some excellent feedback.
The beneficiary for this year's gala is it's Mariano Rivera, right? Is
Yes,
that how you pronounce it? Okay. Is it
Mariano Rivera
Mariano?
Foundation. Yep. Mariano Rivera will be attending the gala as a guest, or Kayla as a guest. It's going to be a running joke for the entire discussion here today. We're thrilled about that. But his focus really is now, and he's very, very dedicated to this, and has been actually since very shortly after his tenure in professional baseball began. He has always been about education. What he's predominantly focused on right now is the print design and packaging development program, as it is now called. It's an initiative to help educate young, disenfranchised men and women to pursue careers in the imaging industry. So, for example, students in need are involved in a vocational program that provides them with training and certifications and other skills that they need to know how to operate devices, particularly upper end machines. And so we will be generating funds all together as an industry, as a team, as a group to help these disenfranchised, to help people get jobs. And that's a great thing in and of itself. I don't think there are many in the industry that would disagree. That would necessarily disagree about that. I think this event was founded, and again, I can't. This is Frank, not me. Was founded on one notion, which actually has nothing to do with anything that we've talked about so far. One word: camaraderie. Frank had this idea, which at the time some people thought was crazy, and I understand why. He wanted to create something to bring everybody, and specifically all the competitors, together for at least one, I would say, night. Well, it started as one morning, one afternoon, one night
Yeah.
a year. And initially, and I understand that there were some thought leaders at the time that said, Frank, what are you, crazy? You want to get so and so in the same room as so and so? That's never going to work. But to Frank's credit, it did. And your brand is only as good, or you don't. You can say what your brand is, but what your brand truly is what your customers or prospects think your brand is. And as they say, and I love this, take off the gloves for a night, enjoy each other as colleagues, friends. Yeah. There are a lot of people in this industry tend to be in it for life. People love the industry. It is a gala or gala. It's like a ball. It's a charity event now, with an after party and a band and music and sometimes auction items and just different kinds of things to engage. A step and repeat, photographs, just as much as we can do to make it as glitzy and as fun, to make everyone in the industry feel as special as possible, to make the industry feel like, yeah, this industry is important. It's a big deal. I would also say the quality of the guests. We're very fortunate to get, the best dealers in the country on a regular basis, and also dealers of all life stages, which is very, very important to me, particularly this year. This year's theme is break on through, and that means so many things. Before I qualify what that means, we've got Mariano Rivera attending. This is a again, a tremendous A-plus list celebrity that even I knew who he was, and I don't follow sports either. And was so excited at the possibility of working with him, who came from extremely humble beginnings, which I feel comfortable that I can say because Mariano is so open and honest about that. He's never forgotten where he came from. It also happens to be this year the 10th anniversaries of both our Women Influencer and Young Influencer editorial franchises. Break on through. That's applies awesome to that too, because one of the things the Cannata Report is tried to do by spotlighting younger people and spotlighting women is to hopefully play even if a small role, a role in helping them break on through by giving them attention that we think that they deserve. We certainly want to keep some big mega dealers involved, and we're fortunate we've got presenters like Doug Batassi, Doug Albrecht, Rick Bastinelli, Adam Weiss, Jerry Blaine, Jim Sheffield, Brian Frank, and others. So we've got that area covered, and we're thrilled and honored to have those people alone. But on top of that, I wanted to make sure that we had as many women as possible presenting. And I'm so proud to say, I think we have at least 9, maybe 10.
That's
out of
awesome.
25 in this industry. So super proud of that. And then also there's the younger people to shine the spotlight on them in commemoration of the 10th anniversary of the Young Influencer franchise. We've got at least 6 or 7 former young influencers or young people that are known very well and respected by very, very senior vendor executives that are also presenting. If there's anything that I'm most proud of in terms of what we've accomplished as a team with the gala to date, is to make the gala more inclusive without diminishing the quality of the dealers and the executives.
It seems like you've really kind of wrapped up a bunch of different concepts that are all cool in and of themselves in this one year, and you're raising that bar a little bit. Are you a little nervous about next year?
Honestly, I'm always nervous about the next year because it's wonderful when people, it's wonderful. First of all, when just others successful and more successful business people tell you that better than last year, you really hit the nail on the head. The bad news about hearing that is you really start to get nervous right away about how am I going to do this again next year? I've been hearing this for 6 or 7 years in a row. So, I'm not going to say too much. I am very excited about the program we have planned. It certainly is an aggressive program. So, I'm confident that we have a great program. But we'll let everybody come, experience, see. We're still shaking out some details. I'm not trying to be cryptic, but also not wanting to give too much away so that those that are coming to the gala will be surprised by some of the other things that we're doing, having to do with Mariano Rivera and the anniversaries of the Women Influencer and Young Influencer editorial franchises, as well as with some of the guests, dealers and vendors alike in the audience. Things we have planned for the after party. So there certainly need to be some surprises.
This is going to be a great year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing everything coming out of it.
So. Thank you so much, Caleb. I appreciate that and appreciate the opportunity to come on this show and have an opportunity to speak about it, especially with one of our elite partners that we have in ACDI. So our October survey issue is slated to launch on Friday. Possibly may launch early the following week. And then we launch, as many dealers and vendors who follow the Cannata Report and the survey in particular are aware, there is a part 2, a second issue that will launch in November, shortly after the gala. Also, all the stories and charts and rankings and insights are also found on our website as well, so they can be consumed in a manner that our audience prefers, whether by reading a PDF on our website of the Cannata Report, reading a hard copy of the Cannata Report, or just looking at the different posts of the different areas that we talk about in the survey. There's some great stuff in the survey this year. Diversification is going up. Profitability of dealers representing what we term as the Japanese Big Six. So some really, really interesting nuggets that I think and I hope will be very, very helpful to dealers and vendors alike.
Well, CJ, thank you for sitting down with us and having a chat with us about all of this. And we're really looking forward to the event this year. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Caleb. It's been a pleasure. Have a great day, and I'll look forward to talking to you soon.
Thank you.
Cheers.